Hello, and welcome to another FAQ Monday. I'm your host, Fluff, and I appreciate you coming back. Week after week, you keep coming on back for some answers, some comedy, and some world knowledge, which I am happy to provide. Today, we're going to cover mostly political subjects, ranging from foreign policy and, stuff like that. But in the form of guitar nerd questions. Brought around full circle. There you go. You ready? Me too. First question. Do you have any tips on training your hearing? Many things that you and others mention in videos, I have difficulty hearing the difference. Thanks. In order to train my ear, what I used to do is I used to solo each instrument, and I used to take an EQ on, let's say the master output, and I used to take a single EQ point and boost it up about 10, maybe 20 dB. I mean, something that you wouldn't normally do. And you're going to sweep. You're going to basically do a frequency sweep, and you're going to listen to see how that affects that given instrument. So if I have drums, bass, guitar, I'm going to mute the guitar, I'm going to mute the bass, and I'm going to listen to just the drums, and I'm going to sweep that EQ, and I'm going to listen to see what each individual frequency kind of is doing to that particular instrument. For example, if I'm playing drums and I'm 10, 20 dB of boost going on, when I get to the high end, I'm really going to hear, some things in the cymbals that you wouldn't normally hear or maybe not necessarily want to hear. However, this will train your ear to know exactly what to listen for when you are in a regular mix situation. Now you're going to repeat this process with bass and guitars, and then you're going to do it for the entire mix and just boost a frequency and then sweep on down, and you're going to get to hear what individual frequencies do to each different instrument. And that way you can kind of get a sense and get kind of a bearing and learn what you're actually listening to. So if you hear a frequency pop out, you kind of know where to go in the EQ range to kind of find it and then bring it down if it's sounding harsh, for example. But also do the same trick on a classic song that you like. Throw it on a Tom Petty record. Import a Tom Petty song into your DAW and put an EQ on it and sweep, and also look at the EQ sign, and you'll get an idea of what you should be aiming for and use those as a reference. I'm considering a Kemper profiling amp. I wanted to know if you've had any difficulties when using other people's profiles with your own guitar? Any difficulty in getting them to sound good? Yeah, with the Kemper profiler, I think a lot of times people expect to get a great tone right out of the box or right out of the given profile that they download because it sounds great for Joe, but it doesn't sound great for them. And the truth is, with the Kemper profiler, really you should be making your own profiles and see what sounds good to you, because you will find 75% or more profiles sound like complete garbage to you, because either they weren't profiled with your setup or anything close to your setup, A, or B, most of them that I have found on the Rig Exchange, for example, are very poorly placed Shure SM57. They're super, super honky and they sound like a comb filter is being run through them. They sound absolutely terrible. What I would highly recommend is either profiling yourself, or if you don't have the means to do that, pay for profiles. Pay for good quality ones like the Amp Factory. The Amp Factory has some great profiles. There's some other ones out there that you can search and get recommendations for, but just expecting to find a bunch of free, awesome sounding profiles is not very realistic, although there are some very good free profiles. The Kemper Lassie Lambert profile pack are some of my favorite profiles that I've ever used with the Kemper, for example. So just, look out. Don't be afraid to pay for some good quality profiles. Any tips on preparing for a gig if it's your first time? Yes, I have a few. Actually, I have a few in general for anyone preparing for a gig or show, big recital, something like that. And that is preparation. Prepare yourself for the inevitable. Things will go wrong, either with you or your drummer or your bass player or your singer. Malfunctions always happen. That's part of rock and roll, man. And you know what? That's okay. It happens to everybody. A. B. Stretch. Do your stretches and warm up properly before a show. I've had to learn this the hard way over the years. When I was in my early 20s, I used to just jump on stage and just rage. Of course, I was playing fast punk rock, which really didn't take a lot of finesse. But with Rest Repose, I have huge anxiety. I have massive anxiety issues, and what I do As a result, as I death grip the pick, and so my thumb then locks up, and it's terrible. So really, do your stretches, drink your water, prepare, and practice, and you will be just fine. My suggestion to you this week is to check out the Tealman Brothers. The Tealman Brothers were a band apparently in the 50s. One of the guitar players is absolutely crazy, and you should definitely check this out. This is a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to listen to as well. You have been wonderful. I have been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.